Welcome back to another episode of a Wanderer's Way podcast. I'm your host, Dustin. Today we're going to talk about the overtime rule that was created last year during the pandemic in Major League Baseball. So last year, during the pandemic, there was a new overtime rule that was implemented. And it was when you go into overtime, you have a free base runner starting on second. Now, this can be a good and a bad thing. How I look at it, because, I've played baseball, I've grown up with baseball for the majority of my life. So seeing the change kind of irks me a lot. Yeah, it takes away the basic strategy that I've always known. And it creates a new strategy. However, it wasn't implemented for the playoffs. So it's kind of to me. But on the plus side about it though, when it came to overtime, so for television networks, when it went over to overtime, they had higher ratings for it, which is a good thing for baseball. But it's really America's sport, so I don't ever seeing it die. But for me, I guess how I look at it is it takes away the main strategy of keeping everybody off the base. It just kind of seems like a way that baseball is changing it to make overtime quicker. And yeah, I understand the point of it, that it can be just so long for people to actually pay attention for overtime. And yes, there's a new strategy implemented into that idea, where you already start with someone on second base. Now the pitcher is going to have this trouble. It's a new strategy, but it's not my thing. I feel like the main strategy of baseball is to keep everybody off base, and to start a new overtime rule this far along in baseball, I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship with it. Now, if they were to implement it into the playoffs, okay, then I understand it. But the fact that they did not implement it into the playoffs last year, it kind of takes away the entire premise of that new overtime rule. I don't know. I still don't find it as something I like. They even put it into the MLB The Show as well, the new game. And I didn't even realize it at this time, to be honest, because I haven't watched baseball often. I only watch it in playoffs time. I keep track of stuff, but I don't ever really play it. So this overtime rule I wasn't even aware of until I actually played this show, and I was like, what? How did I score on a base hit? Like, I'm confused. And I didn't realize there was a new change to it, so I looked it up about it, because when I got the point and scored, and then we went down to the bottom of that inning, and then I noticed when I was going to start pitching, I was like, wait a second. Why is there someone on second? No. This, what? And I looked it up, and I learned about it, and I was like, oh, okay. So now it's 2021. I wonder how they're going to implement this, if they're going to keep this rule. As they have kept it so far this year, are they going to implement it into the playoffs this year? That's a new question. Because now that would be a new strategy for the playoffs, for the championships. And I know other people's ideas about it is, hey, this ain't the playoffs. It's not that important. It's only good for this. Let's make it quick and get it done with. Eh, I don't know. I don't look at it that way. I think if you're gonna make a rule, it has to go through the playoffs as well. My personal opinion, there's no need for a change. There's no change needed. And yes, it makes a new strategy and all, but I like the previous strategy. I like the whole premise of the idea of starting from scratch each inning and earning that, not giving, where you can get a nice base hit and someone can just make it to I don't know. Because just one hit could change the entire premise unless you get a home run. But even then, if the first hitter is up there and they get a home run, there's a 2 score right there. And it just takes away from a possibility of the next inning of a walk-off home run, of getting one base hit and then someone getting a home run. It just takes away the premise of baseball, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. So I'd like to know what you might think about it yourselves. So definitely leave me in the comments and messages. Let me know your opinions, your thoughts on this new rule change, and the fact that it's still going on here this year, and it's not just a pandemic change as we thought it would be. With that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful week.